So Vice President Biden has apparently left the door open for a possible run for the White House come 2020. He told reporters on Capitol Hill yesterday that he is going to run for president, though it was sort of a word salad moment after an emotional ceremony, and today he backtracked a bit, saying he doesn't make decisions that far in advance. But the door is clearly open. A top Biden donor has, as a matter of fact, already bought a bunch of web domains to encourage the VP to run in 2020. Of course, some Democrats asked him to challenge Hillary Clinton in the last 2016 Democratic primaries, but really after his son Beau died of brain cancer, Joe Biden ultimately decided to stay out of the race. He said the window had closed. Michael Tobman is a Democratic strategist, former senior aide to the Democratic senator from New York, Chuck Schumer. He's right now president of Tobman Strategies, which is a public relations consulting firm here in New York City. What's he doing? Was it just one of those I had an emotional moment Biden moments? Or?
It certainly could be, but that drives so much of his decision-making. We shouldn't dismiss it just because perhaps it was a bit of an outburst. I think Democrats are looking for a way out of the paper bag that they've trapped themselves in, and Biden is someone who is beloved, whatever your opinion of his policies. He is well regarded in the Democratic Party, and it's a way in these stages of grief for Democrats to move forward and look to the future rather than navel-gazing and recrimination.
His numbers are good.
Yes.
He's a very popular guy. He's very popular with some of the kinds of people the Democrats lost to Trump.
Very much.
Rust Belt.
Absolutely. And this is really an internal conversation that needs to happen at a national stage, not about who the new DNC chair is going to be or how Pelosi maintains her grip on power or what my former boss, Senator Schumer, is doing as the new Democratic leader in the U.S. Senate. It's a national voice, someone who holds an important national office, discussing the future of the Democratic Party.
And how... When the Republicans discussed their future and came out with an autopsy, they decided not to do that, and then lo and behold, they won the election. So how are the Democrats following?
They're not doing very well. I'm probably going to get some angry calls and tweets after this. They're not doing very well at all. They are hung up on something like, well, we got more votes, we won the popular vote. Well, America's not set up that way. And, you know, if you're going to do away with the Electoral College, you might as well do away with the U.S. Senate. We're a country built on compromises based on regional significance and import. Biden is somebody who could speak to that whole swath, as you said, of folks who feel left behind by the economy and were not Clinton supporters.
What's your sense of how that blue wall of the Rust Belt got away?
There really is this sense that folks were condescended to and that they weren't paid attention to, and they figured we'll just run up the numbers in urban areas.
But what happened was a guy came up and told them we're going to bring all the jobs back, like coal is going to come back. I want to say that's not happening because everything says that will not happen, but who knows?
But they were paid attention to and they were taken seriously and they were courted. And everybody focuses on the fact that Trump lied. Well, you know what? He did it so often, I would say post-truth, that it almost became something that was not lying. It was rhetoric. It was puffery. It was campaign slogans. So, you know, when the New York Times would come out and say, we're going to fact-check all of Trump's speeches, well, you don't have to do that, right? That's not the point. But the point is also not Trump. This is an internal conversation within the Democratic Party about Biden, and I really do believe that he is someone like Trump who could speak to these demographics that feel left behind and let them know that they're taken seriously.
My dad is 86, soon to be 87 later this month, and I feel like he could do it. But 78 is not really young, and after a 4-year term, that's 82. Is that a consideration?
I think 78 is the new 68, but
okay.
even that wouldn't be too young. Look, whether or not he even runs, this is an important conversation to be having, and he is someone with the stature and the affection within the party to insist that folks really move past their anger and recrimination and finger-pointing and start looking to the future.
Think he'll sit down with somebody? Because they had just... there was a very emotional moment about his son, his now late son, and some of the reporters just sort of gathered around, and it slipped, and then he backtracked a little. Think he'll sit down and have a real discussion about this? Because it feels like the kind of thing that a lot of Democrats might be into hearing.
It's interesting, and what the Clinton campaign showed was the paucity and thinness of the Democratic field, right? That we're even talking about this. So who might Biden's opponents be? Andrew Cuomo,
yeah.
Kirsten Gillibrand, Kamala Harris, just out of California.
Loading up in New York again.
Exactly. So exactly, but that also goes to the point of the popular vote. Running up the numbers in New York and California doesn't make you president. Is he going to sit down and have a serious conversation? I think he's obligated to.
Joe of Train.
Back and forth on the
Back and forth on the
Always saw him.
Yes. It's so good to see you. I hope you'll come back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.